Okay. Stream time. I think. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to set up new stream setup, and it's been a minute. So let me run some tests real quick. We're gonna work on some Godot today, so that's fun. Hopefully. Let's see. All right, test. Okay, so I think probably all of this is going to be way too small. So I'll have all of the code super big. That works. I may switch to VS Code later. So anyway, today we're going to work on Last Resort. Been working on this project for a while. With a couple friends of mine, and yeah, I had some time today off work and wanted to stream some dev because I'm bad at streaming and making videos. I figured I'm already working on it, might as well stream it. So yeah, I'm gonna go through today. I'm working on combat, so Godot combat should be fun. I'll kind of go through what I'm working on, what I've already set up, and yeah, I'll go from there. So should be a fun time. Let me post something on Blue Sky real quick. Okay. Let me find a link because I don't know where to find a link. Okay. Ooh, nice. Okay. Sure. Okay. Blue Sky post is out, looking good. Okay. So, yeah, let's work on some combat. So, I haven't worked on this in a few days. I can run the game right now. Oh, and it's not going to be happy with that. All right, I'm going to pretend like that I didn't try to do that because that's embarrassing. Let's see. I could switch actually to main branch just to kind of show what the game looks like real quick. Let me see. I'm gonna close Godot real quick, switch over to main branch, and then just gonna play around. Added controller support a little bit ago. Basically, this game, for anyone, I say for anyone, I haven't posted anything about it. I've just been kind of working on it with a couple buddies of mine for a few months now, and yeah, it's looking really good. It's the idea is basically inspired by obviously games like Stardew Valley, Animal Crossing, but also kind of like crunchier management games. So, you know, the idea is you're on an island in an archipelago. Something happens and you have to take over this beach resort, and there's like a big storm that wipes out the beach resort, and then you, along with the island's, you know, populace and people visiting, have to kind of build it back up. And there's also some like supernatural elements to it, and added on some combat, kind of like Final Fantasy X-esque turn-based combat. So it should all work pretty cool. So we've been working pretty heavily on building out systems first, and then you know, as that's coming along, we're kind of starting to finish up our story bible, and decide, you know, kind of story elements moving forward that we want to kind of incorporate. So it's a lot of like tool and system development at this point. So that's also kind of what we're kind of working on still now. Yeah, I'm excited to, you know, finally have this project in a place where I can talk about it, show about it. And yeah, I'm excited to keep working on it. So if you're watching, feel free to say hi, subscribe if you're watching this after the fact or currently. And yeah, I'm excited to share some more game development, because like I said, I'm really bad at making videos because it just takes more time than I have attention for. Okay, let's all right, spiel is over. Hopefully this is visible somewhat, and let's see. Okay, so play the game. Again, none of this art is final. Nothing is final. I have a controller right now that I'm going to play it with, starting a new game. So we have some basic systems, a couple inventory and kind of settings pages that work pretty well. Apparently, I didn't add total controller support to all of this quite yet, to the menus at least. But rolling timer in the top. We have some combat. I have a little menu that comes up when you talk to somebody, so you can kind of select what you want to do. We have a couple characters that we're kind of working on. You decide to revisit laundry another day. That was me. That was my whole contribution to this game. But anyway, pretty basic so far, but I'm pretty jazzed about it. We have a lot of systems, you know, obviously overworld stuff, but dialogue systems working really well. It all looks pretty basic and is, but everything is pretty happy at this point. Have a pretty robust cutscene handler, kind of brain that runs with a custom cutscene that triggers when you approach the window. It says you really shouldn't peep, which I like a lot. So our artist on the team is working on some art now, and you know, we'll be filling that out as we move along. So anyway, yeah, it's really simple, but we have a lot of robust systems working. I just said robust as the game crashed. Never a good sign. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at right now. I'm going to switch over to my branch. And in the past, I've really struggled with like how much behind the scenes stuff of like game development to show off, especially for games that I'm working on. But I don't know. I used to be very, oh gosh, I used to be very conservative with how much I wanted to show of my actual games. And I don't know. I think that's silly beyond a certain point. You know, it's like, for small developers, it's way more beneficial to actually like have people watching you play, are watching you work, and all that stuff. So anyway, okay, let's open up our combat. So basically how the game runs currently, and this is the whole tree management is going to be updated pretty soon. I added a ticket in for me or the other developer on the team to work on this, but currently we have like a main scene that's pulled up when you start the game, and then this pulls into it. We load some data, and then we have a tree manager singleton that's running in the background so that we can access the combat scene or the overworld scene simultaneously. Right now these are our only two kind of perspectives, but down the road we may have more. I don't know if cutscenes will end up being their own. It kind of depends if there's any place in the world that we want actually like pre-rendered cutscenes as opposed to just you know, to like show a movie as opposed to actually manipulating sprites and stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, have like a new game requested, talks to a lot of different UI elements, and then as you start playing the game, you can initiate combat, and then we throw over to our combat scene. So I'm gonna open combat. This is like a main combat scene. This is a counterpart to an overworld scene. Some of this is pretty piecemeal and not totally complete yet. I finished up like initiative, so like turn ordering, and I'm pretty happy with it. I haven't tested as much as I need to. A lot of my time has been spent getting initiative running in a math getting all the math working, and setting up initiative, and then I've been working on kind of skills and effects of skills and stuff like that. So it all gets pretty crunchy and granular. So I think today I'm only going to stream for maybe an hour or two, and I have drops working. That's cool. I think I'd like to test initiative. I haven't tested it much, and I think for me to be able to say, hey, initiative works well, like turn orders work well, that I need to test it fully before I continue, because once I move past working on this, it's going to be really annoying. So I have an initiative scene, and the way this basically works, actually, let me open Leonardo real quick. Let me see if I can open. Okay, so this is pretty small, but like I said, this is and yeah, my handwriting is terrible, so sorry about that. But the goal is basically, when you enter combat, I like the idea of the Final Fantasy X style combat where you have a vertical counter of, or vertical representation of who's next in combat, who's acting now. And I say Final Fantasy X, it's what it's based off of, but haven't played Final Fantasy X, but I've played Lord of the Rings: The Third Age, which uses that same combat style. So I want to emulate that a little bit for this game. And essentially, when combat starts, I'm gonna do another layer real quick. I'll just do it in red. So this is when combat starts. We have all of our combatants who are actually going to be in combat. So you have, like, okay, let's say A is a player, B is an enemy, C is an enemy, and D is an enemy also. Let's say this is early in the game and you have one player going up against kind of a trial combat or kind of a tutorial combat, and listed are their kind of relative speed scores. So these are represented by integers, I think. Still, that was the original goal, but I got into some float math that I didn't totally love. But I can't remember offhand if I decided to go with that. So this keeps kind of a master list of combatants. And then the goal is, after that, yes, we do some sorting, but also if any combatant's speed is a multiple of another combatant's speed, they will act before them in combat. So here's what this looks like. So you have C, which was an enemy, and as we're going down, we look at the speeds of the next sorted combatants' speeds. So 200 is not a multiple of 150, but it is a multiple of 100. So which is, well, it's really A. So C then is duplicated and will act again. So it means it places a higher value on if you on kind of tuning your speed a little bit, but also things like effects and abilities that can manipulate your speed. So if you have, let's say you have let's say D gets a ×2 speed, so then its effective speed becomes 180. So now it is acting here. This is so messy. It's acting here, and we look at any duplicates. So it moves up, and since there isn't anything slower than D, it doesn't operate again. But if there was like an E at 30, it would act again, still in this spot and in this spot as well. So tuning speed at game time, at turn time, at combat time really allows you to not just manipulate when you get to act next, but in an entire round, how many times you are going to be acting. So this is kind of the overall how initiative at least is probably going to feel. We'll see like kind of the scale of the speed values, if it's too much, if it's too little, and how it feels. Obviously we don't want enemies totally like stacking speed and totally overrunning your players. Like there's in the Lord of the Rings Third Age game, there are like these fights where often there are enemies that can like multiply their speeds or add to them, and then they just like keep doing this to the point where the player can never take a turn, and then the player dies, and it feels really bad because it's like you have no agency other than to kill them before they do this. So I think we're gonna have to do some thinking to prevent this, but for right now I like the idea of the duplicates as speed goes along. So that's kind of the way we are looking at this at this point. Let's see. I do have an issue. We're just using GitHub projects at this point, and have, let's see, a lot of overworld aspects done. So like enemies patrolling to start combat, and yeah, combat basically starts by running into an enemy or an enemy finding you or shooting you with a projectile, stuff like that. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do some coding. So, like I said, my goal today is kind of to test initiative. I want to have almost like a unit test case to basically prove that the initiative stuff is all working properly without having to run all of the code or initiate combat. So the couple ways that I've done this in the past and like to do this, the way that I'm going to do it right now is basically just add an export boolean for debugging. Really, this should be done kind of at the project level, but for right now, I'm going to go ahead and just do it locally. I think in the future, what I want to do is make a global debug that then has, a debug in each scene that has debug parameters or functions, so that then we can run through all the debug scripts just by running the game and kind of whatever happens. So let's see. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and add some tests for this, for the initiative module. I'm also going to add to the ready function, or add a ready function, and then check for debug. And then if debug is true, then go ahead and run the debug logic. So I'll write func test. Call test initiative. The way that initiative kind of works is we feed in combatants. Combatants are a resource that we pass in. Each character has a combatant resource assigned to it. It links together their stats with the combatant stats at the start of combat, and then transitions that into an initiative combatant, which is a local class I have within the initiative class. And this is what actually manages kind of the dupes and stuff like that for duplicated initiative. So I'm going to feed in. See, I have a function. I'm losing track. Start tracker, nope. Initialize initiative. Okay. I'm actually going to make an export group called debug. I'm gonna make a little print line. And this just when we start this debug function. Oh my gosh, I can't type today. We'll just announce that we're to the log that we're going to be testing. So I also made an add-on so that I could do some pretty quick and robust documentation comments for functions and stuff like that. I thought about making a video about it, or at least sharing this add-on, but basically added on a string of hotkeys, and when you press it, it prints out an entire documentation comment, so that then if you search help and go to initiative, let's see, you can see all your methods here. You can see all of these comments and parameters, as well as return values, stuff like that. So it's really handy to be able to kind of have that in your back pocket instead of worrying about instead of having to worry about typing all this out all the time. Obviously, a lot of this is like overused, so all this you just take out. This should be validates that it's working properly. So test initiative, I do want to debug combatants. This is also a really nice thing about documentation comments is if you put in square brackets like a class and then the class name, it will actually lint that out in your documentation. So stuff like this. And it didn't work that time. Interesting. Did that break with 4.5? Maybe it did actually. I don't know. I have no idea. That's okay though. Anyway, so test initiative, and then basically we will initialize initiative with our debug combatants, and initialize initiative will make a master list of these combatants. And also I'm gonna add in a lot of these if debug statements so that we'll have some prints along the way. And yeah, should be good. I do want to go into the combatant class. Here we have a link to the combatant stats. And I'm going to func get combatant speed string. Oops. Okay, oops. That's funny. Semicolon. So basically I want to make a function that will return a string representative of this combatant so that I'm not just looping through and printing resources. I can actually print out what the combatants like names are, what their speed is, and that kind of thing. So combatant name. Combatant name. Speed. Let's do stats. Let's do. So really, combatant stats needs to be the current speed calc. Modded speed. So this will return whatever the modded speed is. This needs to be a string. Modded speed is kind of the, I have a lot of a certain resource called mods, and these mods can affect different kind of stats with addition or multiplication of values. Gotta check my phone real quick. Okay. So get the combatant string. Yeah, I really wonder if inline links in documentation broke in 4.5 or 4.5.1. It worked in 4.5, I feel like. String. Oops. Combatant name. Oops. Okay. So get combatant string. Let's go back to initiative. For combatants in your combatants. Let's print. Okay, combatant string. Okay, then let's go into debug. So yes, let's add in combatant. We'll say combatant name. Franklin. Throw in his stats. Oh, I did make that a float. Okay, that's good to know. Okay, so let's run this. Should print out some stuff. I knew it was gonna break. Didn't break. Add item. Whoa, what the hell? Hold on. This should just be initiative. Hold on. Why is initiative breaking? Oh, I know why. Hold on. Because I'm adding to the inventory. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. Not all code paths. Oh, it's just failing to compile. Okay. New item. Fix this temp return. So let's run initiative again. Hopefully it'll function. Okay. So let's see. Currently combatants, print combatant, get this. Okay, so it's using all the singletons, and then, oh my gosh, hold on. I was right, I used wrong kind of slash, like an idiot. Okay, so testing combatants, Franklin, speed of 0. Okay, cool. I should. For now, I will have to change when the actual modded speed and stuff all work out, but that's okay. Combatants, debug combatants. Actually, I'm gonna do that right now because if I don't, I'm gonna forget. Combatants. Okay, stats. I think. Hold on. I think ready will run. I just want to make sure I'm not losing my mind. I think ready's gonna run. No, it didn't. Okay. So I'm gonna need to initialize all of these stats. I need to just run calculate speed on combatant. I'm gonna run this here. This will need to move, but at least for now, I'll get a good printout of the speed. Okay, so here we go. Here's the speed printing out. Cool. Okay. And yeah, if you're just tuning in right now, we are adding some test code so we can print out our initiative, like our combat order. And yeah, it's going pretty good so far. So testing initiative. So this prints out all of our combatants. Now we're going to... Okay. Initialize initiative. When we initialize initiative, we make a master combat list and then sort it. Cool. So let's then do an if debug. Oops. Ordered master lists. Let's print this out. Yeah. Okay, ordered master list. Okay, let's add in a new line here. Initialize initiative. 2, 3. Trying to make this look okay. No, I shouldn't use dashes. That's okay. Initialize initiative. I'll just do little stars. Okay, then ordered master list. Cool, so that does build out properly. And then what's my error? Get calculated speed in initial get calculated combatant get calculated speed. Oh, okay. So the combatant needs to... This should be a return of float. And then this... returns... Oh. Returns the modded speed. This we've already kind of printed out, and this calculate speed is going to need to be removed. Okay, let's try this. Okay, so we have all our calculated speeds. Cool, everything should be figured out. I'm going to add in another combatant. New combatant. I'm gonna name this Penelope. This is gonna be player stats. Let's see, combat speed is 20.0. So then Penelope should act right before, should act at her own initiative, and then again right before Franklin. That's funny. Franklin goes. So what we should see is these reordered. Cool. So they are reordered. You can see it's kind of tiny. I don't know if I can zoom in actually. No, it's super tiny. But basically it says order master list, and it goes speed 20, speed 10. Okay. So right now we have all of our initiative combatants printing out. This is just our master list though. So what we need to do is find all the duplicates. So we initialize initiative. Cool. Create initiative list. And this function, you pass in whether or not you want to add duplicates. So we're passing in true for this call, and basically this adds in initiative dupes. So first it does sort in order, so that's good. And this is not the master list. The master list is also sorted, which honestly I think is duplicated. That's a problem. Okay, so go ahead and say main. Cool. Initiative list. So what I'm going to do is print out initiative list, and then let's do another for combatant in initiative list. This should look the same at this point. Right now, it should just be a copy of the master list. It does use the same custom list. So honestly, I think this is a duplicate. I'm trying to think if I should just duplicate it straight away. I'm not going to for now, but I think that's a future upgrade that can be made. So we're not sorting the list twice. Obviously with only a few combatants it's not going to be a huge deal, but I'd still like to make it as easy as possible. So let's run this again. Let's see our output. Get combatant string. Oh, that's true. So these are initiative combatants and not actually combatants. So what we need to do is get combatant, get combatant string. And this will actually print it out. We need to access the child variable. So yes, as we see, and again, I'm sorry, it's actually impossible to see because it's behind my head. Oh my gosh. And yeah, if you're just tuning in right now, currently adding in some test code to validate that my initiative list for turn-based combat is actually working and filling out properly. So thanks for hanging out. I might actually move my debug output to the inspector window just so that my head is in front of it. So yes, looks like our initiative list is being filled out properly. So now I want to be able to test initiative dupes. With dupes. Let's run this. I'm not sure if the dupes... Okay, so the dupes did not work properly that time. Initiative list. Okay, so how are we... I need to go into my math again. So right now we have our initiative list being filled out properly. We have all of it being sorted, but now we want to go into that duplication actually. And yeah, if you're just tuning in, talked about this a little earlier, but basically this is kind of a Final Fantasy X-esque combat initiative order, turn-based combat. And the main idea here is if any combatant's current speed, as is calculated with any kind of effects and that kind of thing, if it is a multiple of any other combatant speed, so if C has a speed of 200 and A has a speed of 100, it'll go twice in one round right before where a division of its speed actually is. And the divisions are like, I think I did like a half and a quarter. I have kind of a long comment about this. Yeah, for one dupe, combatant will act once at its calculated speed and then at half its calculated speed. And then if there are two dupes, once at half and then once at fourth, etc. And I do have a little export variable for if there are the number of maximum dupes that we can have. So if we want to ever clamp that and say, okay, we only ever want a character to be able to duplicate itself twice in one round, this can just be two. And that way we kind of prevent enemies or players from running away with an entire round, going between every single every adjacent combatant, which isn't that bad of an idea, because I think max there's going to be, I don't know, maybe 6 combatants on a field, but right now I just want to limit it so it's not getting too crazy. So yeah, building out this test code and test functionality just so I can verify that we're running properly. I do have, let's see, debug, I'm setting that true. So we have two combatants currently. These are just kind of debug combatants. And once I have initiative totally working, after I get this kind of validated and make sure that it's running well, then I can kind of move on and fill out effects more. So that's kind of my goal for either later today or tomorrow. I'm planning to stream as well. So if you're around tomorrow, yeah, feel free to subscribe and to get a notification, and we can hang out tomorrow as well. So here we have fill initiative dupes. Let's go through this. Let's see where we have a break. So combatant, get calculated speed. Let's see. Dupes greater than or equal to dupes met. Let's combatant in master combat lists. I'm gonna add in a few just debug print lines. Starting to parse plus get combatant string. Gonna add in this so we have some extra debug printing here so that we're saying, hey, we're gonna fill initiative dupes. On this, filling initiative dupes, initiative list with dupes. Okay. And this, so basically, yeah, how this parses, or how it's supposed to, how I set it up a couple weeks ago, is we loop through initiative from the start and then add in as we go along. So we loop to the end from each spot. So if we have someone in the 0 spot, then we loop through for each person and check, hey, oops, my pen isn't working. There we go. Hey, are we double this? No. Hey, are we double this? Yes. Then add one here. And then, hey, are we double this? If we haven't met our maximum number of duplicates. So inserts clear, and how this works is because we don't want all of the duplicates to affect other duplicates. We only want the base initiative value to be what's counted for against other people's duplicates. I made an array right here that basically says, okay, here are all of the duplicates that we're going to insert back into the initiative order. And I have that done right here. So I think two duplicates and insert. Interesting. I already might have found an issue, but that's okay. Okay, print starting to parse. Inserts clear, dupes 0, speed is the combatant, get calculated speed. I'm just gonna have a whole bunch of really lame statements. Actually, I'm gonna be actually a little verbose with this. I wasn't going to, but for explanation's sake, I think this is more valuable. I'm gonna burp 1 sec. Okay, crisis averted. Let me see. Okay. So initiative combat in the initiative list size. If dupes is greater than or equal to max dupes, we've met the max dupes. I'm gonna say. Let's see. Oops. Okay, dupe counter 0 is 0. Okay, cool. So, and again, I need to move this. How do I move things in the editor? Pin bottom panel switching. Hold on. Move this. How do I move this? Hold on. It can be moved, right? I'm not an idiot. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Oh well, that's fine. So we haven't met our dupe, so that's cool. Speed is calculate dupe speed is this function calculates the dupe speed. So I want to check what the duplicate speed is. Dupe speed is this. Temp combatant is the initiative order, the combatant that we're looping through. So we'll get our dupe speed, and this should be half. This should be 10 at this point. Our temp combatant is here. Let me grab that. This is gonna be so gross. Temp combatants. Separate out these duplicate lines. Run this. Non-existent get combatant string. Oh. Okay, so as we're parsing down, oh, interesting. Filling dupes. Let's do a new line here. So starting filling dupes, starting to parse Penelope, calculated speed is 20, dupe counter 0, dupe speed is 10. So that is true. We are duplicating the speeds. We're getting half the speed at this index, and then so that's good. Interesting. Okay, do kind. Temp combatant Penelope. Oh, okay, I see. The initiative index should start. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. In range, let's say. Well, we need the initiative. We need the index of the current combatant. In range. Let's do initiative list find. And let's do our combatant. Okay. Up through initiative lists. Size. And increase by 1. That's fine. So it should index starting with, oh, this is gross. Okay. It should index starting with, okay, starting Penelope, calculate speed is 20, dupe counter is 0, and then temp combatant is Franklin. Oh, and it's looping around. Oh, it's looping back through. That's interesting. Why is it looping back through? It shouldn't. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm gonna ignore that for right now because it makes me scared and sad. So what I'd like, first off, hold on. Editor settings. Oh wait, editor docs. I don't want to fuck with my editor right now. Okay, so we have our calculated speed. Dupe speed, combatant. Interesting. Okay. At max dupes, so exiting Franklin. It's getting the max number of duplicates, starting to parse. Hold on. Dupe counter is 0. Cool. Okay. Shift list. Find. Actually, I'm also going to dupe counter dupes. I want to get the combatant index that's found. Oh my gosh. +1, right? Do I just have a really lengthy one-off error? Could be, actually. Okay, temp combatant, Penelope. So no. Combatant index. See. Oh, because it is loop, it's going to -1. Hold on. Dupe counter combatant index is -1. Why is it -1? Is it because it can't find it? You can't find it, so it returns a -1? If there are none. Okay, yeah. Oh, because initiative list. So initiative list should really be at this point, initiative list should be the same as the master list, right? Because right now all we're doing is finding 0 Penelope. Okay, yeah. I think this duplication is actually going to cause more of an issue than I want it to. So in creating the initiative list, I need to, if initiative list equals size 0, push it back. No, I'll do that another time. I think it's going to be an issue, but I don't care right now. Something more upbeat than Elden Ring. Okay. Temp combatant. So this. Okay. So it should only loop through. It should only go through once. So we have filling dupes for Penelope. Combat index is 1. Temp combatant is Franklin. Okay. Cool. So I think that means I found a duplicate, or added in a duplicate. Should list with dupes. No, that's not right. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, dupe speed. Starting to parse. Let me add in a new line for this. Again, just trying to clean up my my prints. Eventually we're gonna have a robust logging system. I just don't want to fuck with it right now. Calculated speed is 10. Okay, so now I can actually get into the math. Okay, oops. If this is a different combatant and it's not a duplicate, check the speed and duplicate. Okay, so temp combatant is Franklin. Franklin is the combatant, is not equal to combatant. And temp combatant is tag main. I hate all these debugs, but without that, there's no good way to, because Godot is an interpreted language, or GD script, I should say. You can't do like, I'm used to C, so I'm used to going like having big branches of like if defines, which is, I mean, people don't like C. I love C. Okay. I'm just gonna say combatant is good. Combatant is good. Cool. Okay. Cool. So we have combatant is good. Now we say if the list speed is, oh, it should be less than or equal to speed, push back at that combatant's index. And then dupes plus 1. Okay, let's try this. This might actually work. Yep, okay. Oh, but it duplicated Franklin. Interesting. Why did it do that? Hold on. Temp combatant, get. Oh, because it's not the temp combatant. It should be the master combatant. Master combatant list. Really, this should be. I don't know if I like this. So what I'm gonna do is not resort it. This is just putting it straight into the initiative list from the master combat list. So in initiative list, I can actually be looping through this. Is this gonna break? It's gonna break. Okay. Calculated speed. Yeah. Okay, so duplicates broke that time. Why did duplicates break? Hold on. Okay, filling dupes. Dupe counter is 0. Combatant index is 1. Penelope. Oh, actually. Ordered master list and then initiative list. So, oh. It should be this. Here you go. Okay. So it's still duplicating. Let's do this. Let's run it. Oh. Do I have... What is going on? I feel like Godot is going to crash. Oh my gosh. Cancel? Okay. Why did it... Okay, combatant is good. Starting to parse. Oh. Oh. That's not good. Insert is inserts.pop. Insert. I think I have... Oh, good. Yeah, it's an overflow. Nice. Oh, I see what happened here. I have an infinite loop somewhere. Okay. The index is getting super fucked up. So let's fix that. Oh my gosh. Oh, all of Godot engine crashed. Oh my gosh, the whole editor even crashed. That's so funny. All right. Wow. I wonder if anything interesting. Okay, so pushback index, combatant index. Dupes equals 1. Okay, so I should walk through this line by line. I'm not going to. Probably. I say that, but I'm definitely going to. Inserts, pushback. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Run. Let's debug point by point. Okay, let's see what our output is. Combatant is good. So we have combatant index of 1. So we're starting to parse Penelope. We found Franklin. Combatant is good. So we're going to push it back to inserts. Play again. Oops. Gosh dang it. This is Jacob totally forgetting. Okay, run again. Combatant index 2. Oh, it's because dupes is not getting iterated. So it's adding infinitely. So that's not good. Oh wait, hold on. Wait a sec. Hold on. We're escaping. What is this? This is for combatant in initiative list. Oh. Because I know why I did this. Okay. So interesting. So I now remember why I did it that way. Do I need to... You can hear the gears in my brain slowly turning. If you listen closely enough. Okay. So the issue is I'm adding to the array, so it's just continually going, which is a problem. So I do need this to be from the master list, but the master list isn't initiative combatants, it's actually combatants. So how do I get around this? Looping through the master combatants is a good idea. Is there... Are there any special finds? Hold on. Find custom method callable. Returns the index of the first element that causes be true. So I could do a custom find, and that would return the index of the combatant. So that wouldn't be a pain. Yeah, okay. Let's do a master combat list. Let's do... So I need to, oh, hold on. Let's do current combatants is equal to initiative lists, find custom. Oh, interesting. Find custom, so find. What was that? Array, find custom, find what? Variant, find custom method callable is even number. So it should be in the array. Return if, oh, interesting. Find custom number equal to, hold on. Anybody's just tuning in, thanks for hanging out. Currently building out some test validation code for an initiative order. So like combat speed order for turn-based combat. So basically I want to just make some debug code to print out and verify that it's working. Okay. So let's check this again. Callable is even. Method is callable takes and returns a bool. So if combatant initiative, find a combatant within. Wait a sec. This doesn't make sense. Am I dumb? Hold on. There's the index of the first, find custom index of the first element of the array. It causes method to return true. Anything that satisfies the method. No, the search star can be started from continuing the end of the array. Method is callable. It takes an element of an array. I feel like my brain is like not even working today. It takes an element of the array and returns a bool. It's weird that you can't bind any other arguments because it checks. I need to be able to bind another argument. So I mean, well, I can just implement my own find. Okay, so check combatants. Let's see. For init. Initiative tracker. If initiative Equal to check combatant. Return. Oh, this should be an int. Return -1. This should return initiative combatant. Oops. Okay. So initiative find. This should do this, and then oh, okay. So this is just returning the initiative combatant, not the actual index. Is that okay? I'm gonna return the index just for now. Okay, let's do current combatants, combatant string. Let's test this. What? Initiative track? Oh my gosh. It's initiative list. That's stupid. Initiative track. Oh my gosh. Oops. Silly me, silly me, silly me. Initiative list. Okay, let's try this. Okay, did it print that out? So I need to parse Penelope of speed. Okay, so that worked properly. Cool. So we have all that going. Let's do current combatants. Initiative list, find combatant. Find combatant +1. Honestly, let's do combatant index. Let's just go ahead and grab this. Because we know what our combatant index is, and I don't want to fuck with that right now. So this is the index within the combatant array. And it's going to crash? Nope. Oh, wait. It actually met the breakpoint. Okay. So this is combatant get dupe at speed. Where even is combatant? It's in the master combat list. Get dupe at speed is a function of the initiative tracker combatant. Combatant, okay, is current combatant and temp combatant. Temp combatant. Okay, let's go through this. Combatant is good. Let's move forward one. Insert size. And I hate, hold on. What's the F12? Okay. Okay, nice. Okay. So actually that worked perfectly. So initiative list with dupes, but it didn't calculate with the new speed. Okay, it didn't print with the new speed, which means get dupe at speed. Dupe is the list speed. List speed is, oh, okay. I actually think this worked properly. Gets go into combatant. Let's do get combatant string. Turn, get combatant string. String list speed. Okay, let's print this out then. And then let's find in initiative list with dupes. Let's do combatant this, and let's see what happens. I hit all my breakpoints. Okay, cool. Okay, perfect. So that actually worked 100% properly. So that's pretty cool. I actually really like that. So it's really hard to see. It's really hard to see. You'll have to kind of like zoom in to see it, I think. But for testing initiative, we have actually, hold on. Let me do a little snip, and then we can zoom in on all of this. So testing initiative, we have two combatants. We have speed of 10 for Franklin and a speed of 20 for Penelope. We start initializing initiative. We order the master list based on their speed. Great. We have Penelope going first with 20, Franklin going second at 10, and then the initiative list is basically a copy. Basically, I just wanted to see what the actual speeds were at this point, and then filling in dupes, which again, this is moving through the array of the actual initiative order, checking if there are any duplicates or any multiples of anyone's speed, or it's divisions of anyone's speed by half, and then by a quarter, and then etc. Then we add in the main initiative combatant again. So starting to parse Penelope, she has a speed of 20, calculated speed is 20. That's good. Basically, those are printing the same thing, so that's great. Dupe counter, as we're looping through, we've input 0 duplicates, and the combatant index is 1, so that means we are not parsing herself. We don't have a duplicate, basically. We're not trying to make a duplicate of herself. We're trying to make a duplicate based off of the other people. Count the number of times I've said duplicate in this stream. So the dupe speed is 10 because we're doing half for the first duplicate. The temp combatant is Franklin. Combatant is good, which means, hey, we're not talking to Penelope. And then basically we input. So I want to add a print in here that basically says, hey, we are adding at this point, and then starting to parse Franklin. We have a speed of 10, calculating a speed of 10. And we don't have anyone after him in initiative because he is the last person in initiative. So we know that he's the slowest. He's not going to have any duplicates. We'll wait till the end of the round. Because he's the slowest, he doesn't get any duplicates. Sorry, Franklin. And then the initiative list with dupes. We have Penelope going. She has a master speed of 20 and a list speed of 20, which means that this is the main one. She's operating at 20. This is her main character. And then she's also duplicated right before Franklin because they have the same speed. So she matches the speed. She gets to go first because she has priority, because she has a higher overall speed. And then as long as the master speed or the calculated speed continues to update throughout initiative, I keep looking over here because that's where my stream, I'm like talking to myself. But as long as we have all of that updating currently, so if we have an effect that adds on to the speed, everything will re-up and recalculate, so everything looks great. I'm actually going to paste this into Discord because it makes me happy to see it. Actually, I'm gonna paste it into here we go. Paste it into the GitHub ticket. So, okay, so it's 12 right now. I've been streaming for a little over an hour. I want to stream for maybe 15 more minutes. And then I'll take a break because I have a couple meetings I have to go to this afternoon. My hope for tomorrow, actually, let me look at my schedule. my hope for tomorrow is to stream maybe a little bit between like 11 a.m. or noon Eastern, and maybe like 1 or 2, so another couple of hours. And yeah, I should have some time to stream over like winter break too, so that's cool. So anyway, we've proven out that combat works. Now we don't have it updating regularly, which is a problem, or will be a problem. At least we need to make sure that our calculated speed is working properly. I have a really nice mod system, like I said earlier, to update things like that, to update speed along as you go along. So at some point I will duplicate all of this. The question also that I run into is reduplicating the list. How much processing time does it take? I think, hold on, I have I at one point had made a debug counter. FPS label, FPS engine frames per second, FPS label. I'd like to be able to get total system time, or at least system delta. That would be nice for debugging. I don't want to fuck with this right now, but at some point I need to update debug labels. That would be awesome. So let's see. Me stream. I want to make sure everything's looking good. Okay. So we're looking pretty good, I think, on this. I do want to input a combatant is this is honestly just a check that I don't need. I will do this. Okay. Duplicate entry found, inserting with list speed plus, let's do at index oops. Okay. Oops, actually. Okay. Let's print this out. Index 1. Cool. Okay. Awesome. Dupes plus 1. So then if debug. Oh wait. Ooh. If or combatant in range. Oh yeah. So it doesn't matter because we reached the end of initiative. If we had another one at like 4, that would be important. Calc dupe speed. Basically. If debug dupe speed or base speed. Number of dupes, and then so basically so the number of dupes is just powers of 2, so it's 1/2, 1/4, 1/8 should be, yeah, 1/2, 1/4, 1/8. So it should be float, and we should do, well, actually, I would say i.e. 1/2, oops, string 2, oh my gosh, 2 times number of dupes. Okay. The hell? Hold on. Oh. Oh my gosh. My nose is so itchy. Number of 2 times number of dupes. This is a really gross long long line. Dupe number 0, i.e. 1/2. Okay, cool. So all that looks good. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's turn off this. Actually, just for shits and giggles, I'm going to combat speed mods. I'm gonna add, oh no, this is Penelope. This is Penelope. Let's add to, that was a really basic one. So let's add a combatant. Let's add monster, enemy, combatant stats, new stats. We'll say combat speed is 5. It'll be 5.0. Speed mods, I'm gonna add in a new mod. I'm going to say it's speed. I'm gonna say that it's multiply by 1.5. So it's 75 per, so it's not doubled. It's, let's find out. Okay, 10.5. It multiplies by mod value. Oh, yeah. So it's, okay, cool. So this is true. Let's do 2.5 to the speed mod. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So what it's doing is not finding any. Interesting. So it broke that time, and I'd like to go into why. So let's go to the top. We have monster with a calculated speed of 12.5. We have monster with calculated speed of 12.5. And so we're going through, and basically what needs to happen is Penelope needs to parse that it's the monster, see that it will not duplicate right in front of monster, and then go on to Franklin and see that she should duplicate in front of Franklin. So Penelope, combatant index 2, dupe speed for base speed. Oh, I see what's happening. So I'm finding, max number of dupes, and basically I have this speed calculation being done for each character in initiative, which means that as initiative goes on, it shouldn't, hold on, so it should be calculated, hold on, it should be based on the number of dupes that we're at. Oh wait, but dupe, I think I'm being stupid. So the base speed is, oh, I see what's happening. Okay. So I have this so that currently set up so that it is so that it is based off of a rolling score. So what's happening is it's multiplying by a half, and then it's still multiplying by half because dupe is still a half, which is good. But instead of taking the base calculated speed, it's doing the current rolling speed, which is a problem. So this should be this. And then we should see Penelope right in front of Franklin. Okay, cool. So that worked. So let's dig into make sure that it actually worked. So we have Franklin as 1. These are all the combatants just read from the values. And then the monster, initializing initiative, cool, is this is all based on their base calculated speed. So we have them all. It's the same list as an order master list and initiative list. So that's cool. Filling in the dupes. So we're parsing Penelope at 20. We go through combatant index and we find, first we calculate the dupe speed for base speed of 20 with dupe number of 0, i.e. 1/2 of this, which is 10. So we're parsing through initiative at 10 speed. We're looking now at the temp combatant of monster, going through the array. It has a speed of 12.5. 10 is less than that, which means that we're going to then move on to the next combatant in 2. Dupe speed is 10. Excuse me. And I don't really need to be doing this calculation every time. Really, I should only update speed once. Calculated speed. So this dupe speed should only be updated because right now I'm calculating it multiple times. So it's not like a huge deal, but it's not great. So anyway, 2, we're looking at Franklin with 10, duplicate entry found, inserting with list speed at 10 at index 2 because it goes Penelope, monster, and then 2 is the second Penelope. For the monster, now we're starting to parse the monster because yes, we've reached a maximum number of duplicates, and we've reached the end of initiative anyway. Starting to parse the monster, and I'm not really going to test corner cases right now. I just want to have printouts for debugging. Starting to parse the monster, 12.5. We're starting at the next index, which is, oh, interesting. Hold on. Dupe counter is 0. Combatant index is 2. I should add in a check here. If temp tag is tag, and then I'll check. Dupe. Okay, so let's go to monster. Found a dupe. Let's continue. Okay, so basically what I did there was I wanted to add in a check for if there was a duplicate in the initiative list, because, you know, like we talked about, we don't want to do any parsing of duplicates. We do want to parse Franklin though, and we don't have anybody else after Franklin. So yeah, we're all done, and we're still getting all of our proper initiative. So that's great. Okay, cool. So that's great. I'm going to turn off debugging because it all looks good to me. I'm going to call that great. Let's go to GitHub desktop and let's... Oh, it's because I have Leonardo open. Oh no. Close. Okay. Okay. So, looking pretty good. That is our okay, so this is working pretty well. Real quick push. I don't love that, but yeah, we're gonna stick with it. So anyway, that all works. So what we have now in this code base is functional initiative ordering. So that's great. Next up is validating that we can actually parse through the initiative. But at this point, I'm pretty satisfied because we know that initiative will at least generate properly. So yeah, cool. I'm feeling pretty good about that. Let's make sure in ready testing initiative. Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm gonna call initiative good for now. We will need to do some messing around with initiative parsing once we actually get into the combat flow, which will, I want to sketch out maybe tomorrow, honestly, but I want to work on effects next. So yeah, we'll work on that next, and hopefully, oh my gosh, that's funny. Hopefully, it should be pretty quick. I do have, I'll show kind of what effects look like currently. So combat effects are based on kind of permanents and turns. It says kind of the duration, and so we can at least parse each effect's turn. These are things like hanging effects or buffs or debuffs or that kind of thing. And then mods determine, like I said, mod value, mod type, and the stat that targets it. And I want to look at stats too, because there's going to be a pretty lengthy overhaul coming up for stats, to at least update and calculate values quickly. I also don't love how I'm parsing mods right now, at least how like values are multiplied and added and stuff. So I need to kind of dig into the math on that a little bit, but I don't really have time today. There was one other thing I wanted to look at. So we looked at effects, but the bigger task is going to be filling out combat skills. So as I have laid out all of these combat skills, basically it's a resource. I want to go into this a lot more. I set it up pretty quickly, so I don't really want to put too much stock into this. I need to add more documentation comments as well, but generally combat skills I just wanted to make a base skill, and then in the future, we'll kind of split it up into child resources and inherit combat skill. But for now, we have like a skill name, skill text, energy required. Jobs are our actual classes, so like a chef or a fisherman or an adventurer, stuff like that. So all this data relating to jobs, data for enemies. So how many, or do we target the enemy team? How many enemies can we target? Do we target allies? How many allies do we target? Can we target self? Does this do any damage to yourself? What's the element of that damage? Healing, and then effects. We looked at combat effects a little bit ago, but basically there are things that can apply mods over time to manipulate stats. And also like clothing will have effects that will modify stats and stuff like that. So that all kind of feeds together. Harm information, so damage, what's the element of the damage, what is there any steal capacity, so can you steal any health from an enemy, and then any effects that go onto an enemy, and then healing amount, ally effects, stuff like that. And yeah, and some targets. Basically I set up some functionality here. I haven't tested through it yet, but when you use a skill, basically we have to decide who are we targeting, can we pass back how many people we can target, and the combat handler itself will pass who the player targeted back to the skill, so that then the effects can be applied. It's kind of like handshake and then a backwards handshake, so I think it's an extra step that's not really needed, but for now I just want to make it work. So I think skills are probably the next thing I want to get working, and I really need to build out a lot of the comments to make it work better, but at least we accomplished a lot. We got initiative working, so I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah, if you tuned in today, thanks so much for hanging out with me. Had a lot of fun, and I will be back streaming tomorrow, like I said, and hopefully a lot more. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like if I'm talking, I'm not doing as good of thinking and like processing of stuff. But at the very least, I've had a great time today, and yeah, feel free to subscribe if you see this after the fact or you're watching now. Yeah, I'll be streaming more game development for Last Resort and hopefully more tutorials down the road. I'd also like to set up some kind of feedback. So like, I don't know, I've been thinking about making a Patreon so that I can like add a tier for Godot code reviews and project kind of playthroughs, stuff like that. I'm pretty chill, so I think it would be I think that's something that I would like as a developer, is to show my game to someone who's somewhat qualified, have them take a look at my game, give me some pointers without like posting it on itch or anything. So might do that. Otherwise, yeah, thanks for watching everyone, and I'll catch you later.